The Colts at the Texans. This line opened up Colts -3.5. It's down to 3. The Texans had some suspensions. Will Fuller and Bradley Roby are out for the year for 6 games each. So who do you like in this game?
Well, I'm mad at Will Fuller, too. I'm just mad at a lot of things this week because Will Fuller is like the only good receiver on my competitive fantasy team, and now he's gone. So gotta find a replacement.
I have him on 2 teams, so I feel you.
Yeah, no, it's brutal. But yeah, anyway, so thanks, Will Fuller, but we'll see you next year. I'm leaning on the Colts in this one. There are a lot. Like you said, there are suspensions, and then there are some injury issues too. For the Colts, you mentioned Will Fuller and Bradley Roby. Those are huge, but there's also stacked injuries or absences at receiver too, because they have Brandon Cooks, but they cut Kenny Stills, and Randall Cobb is on IR. So they're down 3 of their top 4 receivers, and I'm a big Kiki Cutie guy. Like, I think he'll be fine, but the depth there is no longer, like, it's non-existent for Deshaun Watson. So he's going to have to make a lot of stuff happen himself there. And then with the Colts, they have 2 injured offensive linemen. Anthony Costanzo is dealing with a MCL sprain, so I have a tough time imagining he'll play. Then Ryan Kelly's got a neck injury. Frank Reich was saying that he could play this week, but it sounds like he's questionable. And then on the defensive side of the ball, DeForest Buckner's absence was massive for them last week. They had no prayer of stopping the run with Buckner out. So if he comes off the COVID list, I'll be more confident in the Colts defense limiting the Texans. But then again, if the Colts are without 2 offensive linemen, I'm going to have a tough time trusting them to move the ball enough and score enough on the road, even against a lackluster defense. I think the Texans are playing motivated right now, too, so that's another reason I'm scared of this game. But I do think that if Ryan Kelly plays, which I'm hoping he will, I think the Colts will be able to survive the absence of Costanzo and, pull out the win and the cover here. I'm not confident in that, though, and I might switch my pick later in the week. So for now, it's a no bet on the Colts, and we'll see what the injury report brings. But this is probably one of the most important injury games of the week for me.
Yeah, so while you're angry at the Will Fuller news, and I guess so am I, I'm also angry that we're not getting good line value with the Colts in this game. The advanced spread on this game was Colts -3.5, and so when the Colts got slaughtered by the Titans and the Texans won on Thanksgiving convincingly, I was like, oh man, can we get like Colts -1 here? Like, that'd be sweet. Unfortunately, it's Colts -3, which is like, it's good to get like this half point to get the 3 because I think Indianapolis winning by 3 is the most likely result of this game. So to get that when you're going -3, that's pretty huge. Like, there's a reason why 3.5 is the least likely to hit like of all the spreads out there. So -3 is important. I was just hoping to get a better number. But overall, I completely agree with what you said. I mean, if Ryan Kelly comes back, that's going to be enormous because they have to go against J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless, and to have like 2 missing offensive linemen against that, I think that's just going to be too difficult for Philip Rivers, who really needs good pass protection at this point in his career. It'll help that Bradley Roby's out. Rivers doesn't really target his receivers as much as other quarterbacks, but still, like, Roby missing is pretty big. And then Will Fuller being out. You talked about the stacked injuries at receiver for the Texans. It's like who is Deshaun Watson going to throw to? Because he has Cooks still, but Cooks is going to be covered by Xavier Rhodes. So who's he going to throw to? Like, Cutie. He has Jordan Akins, who dropped 2 touchdowns. He has Duke Johnson. Like, these guys aren't that good. Cutie's okay, and like Akins has some talent, but like there's no one proven here outside of Cooks, and Cooks is going to see tough coverage. So you have to wonder how the Texans are going to move the ball, especially if Buckner comes back. So I want to bet the Colts a lot. Like, I really do. I think getting the -3 instead of the 3.5 is enormous. But I need to see Kelly come back, and I need to see Buckner come back, and plus they had a couple of other minor injuries. I want to see the Colts a lot healthier. If we do see that, I'm going to bet pretty big on the Colts.
Yeah, I think I would be right there with you if they do, because I'm big on the Colts, and I think they'll bounce back. Good teams coming off a blowout tend to do that, especially with good coaches. And no, I do not want Jack Hughes to be back. The fact that he fired like a very well-respected PR executive too recently because she wasn't a culture fit. So if you're a culture coach and you're firing someone who's universally respected, that's usually not a good sign. But anyway, circling back, I think the Colts are just the right side. I think the Texans have played well lately, but the receiving stuff is massive problem because I like Cutie, but he's a guy who catches a lot of short passes. Like you can't just dink and dunk the length of the field with him, and you can just double Cooks, and they're gonna have so much trouble moving the ball. So yeah, the Colts are the right side if they're healthy.
Yeah, it's a shame. I wanted to see Romeo Crennel make a run, in his last head coaching stint, but doesn't look like it's going to happen with these two suspensions.